Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
Okay. I don't even know where to start. We got a 2-for-1 special today.
We did.
We're really excited to have both of you here. Just give us a quick introduction, who you are, what your titles are. We're sitting down with the masterminds behind Trickle Creek.
That's
Tell us a little bit about yourselves, about the brand.
Yeah. Cool. So I'm Sydney. I'm the COO here at Trickle Creek. And this is Kaitlin. She's the lead interior designer here. So Trickle, I mean, God, there's a lot to say about it, but we're a luxury custom home builder. We are a fixed price builder, which is really awesome. The one thing that I love most about this team and this company is that we have everybody under one roof. So we have our architectural technologists, our interior designers, we have our construction team, our estimating finance, all the way through. So you get everybody under one roof, which is really awesome and something that you don't get in a lot of other places.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
So I did your intro for you, but
no,
go ahead.
That's okay. Yeah, so I'm the lead designer here at Trickle, and I've been with Trickle for coming up on 4 years, which has just been such a crazy ride. We have such an incredible team here and such an interesting process, which I'm excited to talk about more.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that, like, having worked with a number of different firms over the years, builders, designers, contractors, renovators, etc. I think there's a lot of things that you guys do that are unique. I think let's start with the team composition. It's very young.
It's so young. Yeah.
And very female forward, which I think is super cool, because to have a home building company where we have, female empowerment, we have women in the workplace, the quality of your guys' work is impeccable. I think, talk to me a little bit about that collaboration and how are you able to still kind of garner the respect that you deserve and keep trades like myself in line? Because I think you guys, develop a quality product. And I've met a lot of your homeowners and work with a lot of your homeowners, and usually really, really great things to say. So tell me a little bit about the secret sauce there.
Yeah, it's a challenge for sure. Being women in the industry, it's a whole different world, and it's something I'm actually really proud of here. Obviously, the owner of Trickle is a man. We have our construction team too. We do have some dudes on the team as well, but probably 90% of us are female here, and all the heavy hitters here, all the leads of all the departments, myself, we are all women. So it's actually really, really cool. And as you said, we do have a really young team. Like our average age is between like 20 and mid 30s maybe. So it's really awesome because everybody comes in with fresh creative ideas. People that come into the workforce and are just like stoked to get started. They want to learn, they want to, their work ethic it's huge. So that is really great. I think, as you mentioned about kind of like getting the respect in the industry, it's interesting. And honestly, I think we have such a good brand and such a good reputation that our clients kind of come in and just know who we are already, which is great. But Mel, our executive project director, she deals with a lot of people in the field. And I know that's not easy for her all the time. So it just takes time. Gaining that respect, and obviously we have Michael backing us up if anything goes
sideways.
But yeah, no, for sure, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, the team is so incredible. And while we are a younger age demographic, we definitely have team members that are just coming in with a fresh mindset. No one's stuck in a particular way. So, you're really open to problem solving, having discussions. How can we do this differently? And it's just creates this really collaborative environment, which I love.
Mm-hmm. We are such a fun team. Like working with our clients, it's so fun because we kind of just like foster these friendships with them as well. We love the people that we like bring on as our clients and our trades. Like we're picky. We like to work with people that we like to work with, and our clients are very, very awesome.
Yeah, it took like a decade to even get a project from you guys.
But now, we had to vet you first.
Last 4 or 5 years have been going good.
Yeah.
So on that vein of like collaboration, that's something that I've definitely seen just like being around you guys, working with both of you in different capacities over the last several years. And then just like seeing the vibe on site, there's lots of laughing, lots of joking around. The site guys are all great to deal with. Yeah. So what do you think it is that kind of creates that culture of, hard work and work ethic, but also, having that creative kind of fun, almost familial feel to your job sites? And even when I come through the office here, there's always a good vibe and a good energy. So What do you think is, you think that's because it's female led? Do you think it's because of the age? Is it just part of the brand identity? Like, what is that?
I think a little bit of a lot of those things, but I think a big part of it is going back to how like we're all kind of under one roof, right? So from day one, when we sit down with our clients, we bring like whoever's working on your project is there in the room already. So you get your interior designer day one from when you're doing your architectural plans, you get your PM, you get everybody in one room. And so I think part of it is just everybody being involved along every step of the way. We're all there for all of it and we get to see it along the way. So it feels like, you know, even if you're the PM, you were involved in the architecture stages as well. And you reviewed those plans. You made sure we could build them. You made sure the quality was going to be top notch. So it really just feels like every project is everybody's baby, and we all get to do it together from day one. So it is super fun. And on site, we get to see it come to life together, and we spend so many hours and so much time in the office and meeting with clients to get it there. And yeah, everybody having that involvement, I think, is huge. But yeah, I think the young side of it too plays a big part in it. We have a lot of like really genuine friendships in this office. Like we really do. And I say this to my team all the time when we have team meetings. It's like, I feel so lucky to come in and work with all these people every day because I genuinely enjoy spending time with them. It's like, I want to get a beer with you after. What are you doing? Like, it's not just a coworker relationship.
Check in, check out.
Yeah, totally.
I think what helps too is, I mean, everything is in-house and our roles and our process is so dialed that everyone knows exactly what they're doing. You know, there's a very clear path forward and we can just run. So things can get done. We can be efficient. We can be innovative. You know, you don't have to backtrack or backstep. Everyone just has a really clear focus, which I think helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
And when you're managing on the creative side and doing, you know, the interior design spec and you're managing the team, are you overseeing every project or are you working in silos where one designer is specific to one home, or is it the entire department has their fingers in that pie?
There's definitely room for collaboration, which I love. I think that's so important, especially when it comes to design. But when we look at our design team, we have two different sets of groups. So we have an interior designer and a junior interior designer. They really run and own their own projects. So while myself or Sydney, like we might, you know, get a little sneak peek and a glimpse of what they're going to present to the client, ultimately that's their job and it's their job to own. And you know, we trust them through and through their creative abilities, the way that they're going to manage and problem solve, and relay information to a trade or to a client. So it's really theirs from day one all the way through to finish.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of autonomy here for sure. We trust our people, you know, we train them right, so we kind of let them run with their things. But Kaitlin, in her position, she's there to kind of oversee and make sure that obviously the direction of the design is trickle forward and up to our standards, and what our clients are really looking for. It all kind of comes back to them at the end of the day. And so her position, yeah, she does oversee a lot of it, but really the other girls kind of own their own jobs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I've seen like a trend that more and more people are starting to do stuff the way you guys have been doing stuff for a long time. And so something that I remember about 5 years ago when we did the first project for you guys was the quality of the presentation and the design package. And so not only just getting the architectural drawings, but getting the full home rendered in 3D renderings. And I know that that's something we're starting to see lots of other, you know, interior designers and builders kind of start to do, but it was always been part of your guys' standard process. And I think that that's really cool in terms of like not only the experience for the client, but also from a trades perspective, because we know what you're trying to achieve. We can see it before it's materialized. So I think that's like a really cool way of going about it. Do you think that like that presentation piece and the experience has led to having such a strong brand and being one of those premier builders in the city, in this market where, you know, there's a vibe to the homes, people see them and go, I bet you that's a Trickle. If you ask around and you say like, who are you thinking of building with, like your guy's name comes up if they mention a couple others in that sentence, you know, you're always in that kind of in the running. So what is it that has helped you guys kind of cultivate that brand position and that reputation beyond, you know, just the presentation and the vibe of working here? Or is it that like what's causing you guys to continue to keep and pick up momentum?
Yeah, I think, I mean, yeah, all of that. The process is really great, and having those renderings, it's so important. It just takes it to that next level. And we love doing it too. Like our team, we want to design it, right? We're designers, that's the industry we're in, so we love doing it. But it really does allow the client to envision it. And we have so much experience in, picking a sample and being able to see what that's going to look like in a room. But the client next to you has no clue, right? So it's really that way to move things along faster, to have them see our vision, which I think is huge. But a lot of the people that come and build with us are through referrals. Actually, we get it through word of mouth. And one of our big things at Trickle here is that how we talk to our clients when we're selling is that we want to take all the pressure off of you. We know people are busy. We know you have 9-to-5 jobs. You have kids. You got volleyball, hockey, all of the things. So like, come to us. We're the professionals. We're going to do everything for you. You guys just chill out and relax. And I think because of that brand that we've built over the years, people have that trust to allow us to do that, which I think is really, really cool. And so our process is super, super hands off from what you'd see at other builders. Like when we sit down with a client, let's take for interior design, for example, we sit down with them for about a 5-hour meeting. We wine and dine them, ask them every single question we possibly could about what they're looking for, review inspiration, and then they go away for 10 weeks and we barely talk to them. And then they come back and we do this huge presentation where we show the renderings, we walk through the entire home, we have all your samples laid out, and 9 times out of 10, the clients are signing off pretty quickly after that, and they love what we've curated for them. They love what we've done. And it's just, again, going back to like being picky with our clients, we pick the ones that have that trust in us, that know our brand, that want to work with us. And I think over years, it's just that word of mouth kind of gets around how simple the process is, how hands off it can be, and how easy it is really to just build that dream home that they're looking for.
Our process is so unique and it's also very intentional. So the way that it starts in architecture, it actually flows really seamlessly into interior design. So that initial meeting, and that could be 2-3+ hours, we're asking all of those key questions. And, taking a step back, some clients are like, wait, I'm not going to hear from you for 10 weeks.
Yeah, I would be down for that.
That seems really scary. But like, honestly, to hit that end date and it's such a fun day to bring them back in, to set up the table with all their materials, food, beverage. You can tell there's like a little bit of like nervousness to the client because they're like, what the heck are we going to see?
Yeah. And what if I hate it?
And what if I hate it? That's if we've listened and we've done our job well. And again, like the key word is listen. That's all we have to do. And cue the right questions from day one, then we'll knock it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there's things where clients are like, oh, I'm not sure about this tile. Like we've maybe pushed the boundary too far. Like there's room to move. But big picture is that we've heard you, function, overall look, and it fits them. It fits their family, their lifestyle. That's what's really important when we hit that last day. Yeah. And I think represents Trickle as a brand and what our values are really well.
Totally. We've worked a lot on those design surveys for the architectural meeting and the interior design meeting where, we're not asking our clients, do you want it to be painted white or black? Do you want a red kitchen? We're more asking, how do you want to feel when you walk into the space? What do you want when your neighbors come over and they get a peek through your foyer? What do you want them to think? Is it like, holy shit, this is the craziest house I've ever seen? Is it, ooh, it's warm and inviting and I want to go inside? What is that feeling that you're trying to capture? Because that's what we want to do for you. It's less about the specifics, and then we as the professionals, again, we know how to pull that through our materials, through our design, and we'll create that for them. But it's really diving into those deeper things with your clients, understanding how they live, who's in the kitchen when you're cooking, who picks up the kids, who does this, what times a day are you in the home. So we really dive into those things with our clients too, which I think really helps us hit it out of the park every time.
And what in it, because you guys are in this world, like, it's super competitive, right? And we're seeing more and more development in the city, picking up in inner city communities. You guys are in those hot spots, where people want to live. What are some of the things that you guys do besides just operating a strong brand and having a good reputation to separate yourself from some of the other people that are on the comeuppance or that, are your kind of shoulder to shoulder comparisons in those communities? Like, tell me a little bit about what you guys do differently, why someone would go with you over a different builder, and then how that kind of ties into the trades that you work with, obviously working with Sonata probably helps. You just flash that card and people
Seamless,
just sign
yeah.
up. But like, what are some of those,
Yeah.
what are some of those things in terms of like the way you position yourselves that separate you from other builders, the trades that you work with? Just talk to me a little bit about like the difference.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think there's a lot of things. One thing that sets us aside from a lot of builders is that we're actually a fixed price builder. So a lot of people are in the cost plus industry, which is great as well.
But I actually have a change order for you on the next show.
But yeah, so I think that really sets us apart because, there's a lot of uncertainty when you're purchasing your first home or going into building a home. It's your life savings. It's everything you've ever wanted, hours of inspiration and dreaming up what it could be. So there's a lot of uncertainty that our clients face and the people that we talk to face. So when they come to us and work with Jody, who is our business representative, they really understand, like, we're going to hit that budget. So tell us what it is. What do you need? We walk through all the home details, and we're going to tell you, obviously we have a price per square foot, all of those things. But at the end of the day, we're going to tell you exactly what your price is. And if you want to stick to that, you're not going to go a cent over it. So that's something that's really great about us. We'll also take on, if there's inflation costs, like that's on us, not on our clients, where, in a cost plus builder, that's all getting passed on. So it really takes that pressure off of our clients and just, again, allows them to kind of relax throughout the process and know that we have it handled. I think another thing is just our quality. Our quality is unmatched. And if you walk through a Trickle home, if you walk through one of our show homes, we have one coming up in the fall. It's going to be amazing. You can really see that. And it's so crazy these days. I'm in the process of house shopping myself right now and walking around in some of the new builds out there. And the things that people get away with are just outrageous. Obviously, I have another eye for it, but it's crazy. And it honestly makes me a little bit sad because there's people out there spending $1 million+ on these homes that don't even notice those little things. They walk right past them, but somebody like me walks through the home and I'm like, holy smokes, this thing's going to fall apart in 2 years. So when you build with us, you're getting that quality and it's so apparent. Like you just see that immediately when you walk into one of our homes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think one of the other things that sets us apart is our care on site. So our team, that they're boots on the ground, week over week, they are really taking care of the neighborhood. They're taking care of the neighbors directly next to them. Obviously, the communities that we build in, you're buying a piece of land or a home, we're tearing it down and we're building something new. And that can be a little bit scary or sensitive to certain people. And so, just knowing that we're here to not only take care of the homeowner and the person who's building the property, but the neighbors and the community, if there's any questions, concerns, like our team's the first one to be there, to knock on your door and say, hey, such and such is happening, and we just want to let you know. So I think that's really important as well.
Yeah, for sure. I think the other thing, which I obviously have already touched on a few times, but it is having everybody under the same roof, right? So you we're a one-stop shop, and you get to come to your architecture here, you get to do your interior design and so on and so forth, and see it through to the end of the build. So the whole Trickle team gets to be with you from the day you sign up to the day you walk through your home at the very end. And so that is really, really cool. And this is also why we're picky with our clients, because we got to be with them for like a year and a half to 2 years. We better like them. But I think that's a really, really awesome process and something that is so easy to pitch to our clients. It's like, hey, your interior designer is going to have say in your architecture plan. So when those get to the, so many people work with offsite architectures, and then they want to change things after, and they got to go back and pay. It's just this whole thing. And so here you're just with your team the whole way through. And I think that's something that really sets us apart from a lot of people. Yeah.
Cool. How have you guys gone about cultivating and creating a trade base?
We have a lot of trades that we've worked with for a long time. We see our trades as like they're part of the team. They just are. We rely on each other, and their work is a reflection of us, and vice versa. And so we take that really seriously, actually, and we really value the people that have worked with us throughout the years, and go through the ups and downs together. We have a ton of people that we've worked with for a long time. Of course, we like to experience new people too, bring on awesome people. Again, it's kind of like I said with the clients, it's like we want to vibe with our trades too. You know, we work together day in and day out. And so we got to like those people like yourself, you know, that's why we're here today. But yeah,
Don't
it's like,
him too much.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same thing. It's like with our staff, with our trades, with our clients, like we just want to work with cool people that have similar interests, that want to just do cool shit at the end of the day. And through that, we found some awesome people that have kind of stuck by our side for a very long time. Yeah.
And you have to deal with the trades a lot as well, especially in communication and quoting and specs. So how have you been able to not pull your hair out and get everybody to step to the beat? I mean, I know our process internally. I see Kaitlin, that's a same day answer.
Love that.
24 hours max.
I'd love to survey all of our trades.
Oh my God, so true. We should do that.
Yeah.
So if that's I think that kind of answers it from the ops side, you know, relationships and that being willing to take on, you know, and try new things and people that want to be a part of trying and doing cool shit. But on the interior side, like what about from that perspective, what has kind of helped you find and cultivate people that, you know, can execute on what your guys' vision is for the interiors?
Yeah, well, we definitely have our core group that we've worked with for years. And I think just that long-standing relationship, I mean, it's already set in stone. So, you know, if you have an idea or a thought, or you need to, you know, talk through a situation on site, you know that person's going to be there. They're going to pick up their phone. It doesn't matter what time it is. They're going to walk through that with you. I think that's really important. And then from a design perspective, I mean, the trades that you know, we really appreciate working with are the ones that, you know, can take a vision and they don't shut it down, say, no, it can't be done. There's always that conversation of like, no, how can we make that happen? And what about this? What about that? I think you're such a great example of that, you know, being on site and calling you and being like, hey, there's this scenario and we didn't anticipate it to install this way. And right away we're like FaceTiming, video, photos, whatever it is, that conversation is had. You know, it's having a same or a very similar mentality to how we are at Trickle, in just the fact that like the work's got to get done. We're going to do it efficiently and effectively, and we're going to make it right. And I think that that's just the core trades. That's what stands out in them as well.
Definitely, for sure.
What do you think the future of building in the city is going to look like in the next few years?
That's a great question.
Like in what sense do you mean?
Do you think that we're going to see people building, you know, bigger homes and kind of like maximizing as much house as they can put on a lot? Or do you think we're going to see kind of more intentional designs where it's more based on their lifestyle? Do you think we'll see people moving towards a specific type of materiality or style of the home? Like just in general, where do you think we're headed from the lens of like a luxury inner city builder?
I think there are a lot of people that are kind of going towards just what they need and the functionality and, you know, just building their home for them and their family specifically. Of course, we're always going to have the ones that have the wowie homes, but you're seeing a lot more of that now, especially with the price of things these days. It's completely different, right? So, I do kind of see that happening, just kind of building for what you need and for your family specifically. But I think building in general might become a little bit more popular. The price of just like going and buying a home these days is absolutely outrageous. And honestly, when you start to compare it these days to, you know, building new, it's really not that much different, which is interesting. And you really get what you want. You get to, you know, build your dream home. And so I think that just building in general is gonna...
You get warranty.
Yeah, you get warranty, so that's a perk. Yeah, I think that'll start to become just more popular in general, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're always going to have the homes, you know, people who want to live in an acreage and, you know, build something large for family and entertaining and all of that good stuff. Like that will always happen, but specifically inner city, and that's something that Trickle does so well. It really does cater to that family, how they live. It's more of a function and less about square footage.
Yeah, definitely.
Where are we going to be in, like, as Trickle in 10 years? Where are you guys going to be in 10 years?
Ooh,
That's a good question.
That's a fun question. We really want to start taking on, so right now we're doing a lot of client builds, and we do, a couple show homes a year as well. We want to, obviously we'll always be building for our amazing clients, but we really want to start doing more show homes, more spec homes. We're finding these days too, a lot of people are like reaching out for like quick possessions. Like, what do you guys have? Like, what do you got going on? Anything for sale right now? So we want to start to do a little bit more of that where we have ready and available homes.
And in that same inner city kind of like feature communities?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. That's, kind of our vibes, like the best lots. Like we want to be on the best lots. And we have a team that, is always looking for great land. Michael's out there every day searching for the best spots as well. So that's something we really want to do. And it's so fun for us here at Trickle, again, like because we're young, we're all friends here. It's like when we do our show homes, when we do our spec homes, we have the best time because it's like, it's just all of us shooting the shit in a room, building a home together, and we get to pick Kaitlin picks the stuff, Emily draws the house, Jace builds the home, it's just like, it's just cool and it's really fun. So we want to do a lot more of that in the coming years. So stay tuned for that because you'll see some stuff popping up for sure.
Make sure you include window coverings,
Of
wall
course.
coverings, and lighting control in every single project.
100%. We
Sign
got
us
you.
up.
Kaylee, what do you think? Where are you guys going to be in 10 years?
Yeah, I mean, I love that question because as we know and we've talked about, the team is young. And really what I think about, stepping forward 10 years, I'd love to see as many familiar faces as possible. We are such an amazing team, and there are just so many talented people here that, if we can really learn and grow together over the next decade, I think that would be really special. Of course, continuing to do our client homes, but I love the idea of spec homes. Mm-hmm. And maybe, I know Michael has, mentioned developments and things like that. So
yeah, also something we might get into too.
Very cool.
Yeah. Lots on the horizon. You never know what you're going to get from us.
The future is bright.
The future is bright.
What questions do you have for me?
Ooh, oh my God. What do you think of this? Let's
go. No, I know. This is the part.
Okay.
I have one.
What inspired you to do this?
To do Sonata or the concert series?
The concert series.
So I've answered this question before, and I think it sometimes the answer changes because the deeper we go, the more I realize the reason why. But I think the short answer is that most social media in general around trades, construction, and design is really focused on promotion. So it's we're a trade and a supplier, so let's just use trades and suppliers. A trade or a supplier will jump on the camera, which is awesome that they're even doing that because a lot of them don't do social media. And if they do, they're just talking about their latest product. Like, look at this new fabric from this supplier, or this new control system, or look at this install we did, or, just featuring their work and really just trying to promote and sell, which I think is important because, businesses have to sell things. But I thought there was an opportunity to do something different. And as we've upgraded our tech stack and our marketing team and have been digitally transforming the business over the last couple of years, I realized there was an opportunity to kind of shine a light on the industry as a whole and to put some of the movers, the shakers, the big hitters in the industry in our market and the people that we interact with on a daily basis, and to kind of put a face to the name and to showcase the people that actually make this industry go forward. Mm-hmm. And so that's what the concert series is all about. It's about giving, other trades, builders, designers, and then homeowners and people that are just interested in real estate and design, glimpse into what goes on.
Yeah, I love that. I think that's awesome. And I think the long form content is, you don't see much of it anymore. It's all so quick.
Yeah.
But it's cool because it's we're always trying to figure out, even with our marketing, hey, how do we cram and tell everybody what our process is in 1 minute? And it's you can't. So
it's impossible.
You just can't. So it's awesome to do this. I want to do more of this, sit down and actually explain what it's for us, I guess, but to go through a process or to do this. So I think it's cool that you're sitting with people and chatting through all that.
And so we've been, trying to do it on products. We have these conversations, and the views aren't crazy, right? 50, 100, 150 views. But for somebody like yourself, if you were wondering well, why is this worth it? The one view, somebody could be watching that was like considering of purchasing between, you know, Trickle or somebody else, and they learn about you guys and they see that authenticity and the energy that you come with, and they're like, boom, we're going to sign up with them. So there's like intangibles to all of this social media stuff, and we just don't really necessarily know, you know, just how much value it can provide.
So. Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's honestly such a great tool, not just for industry professionals to be able to, you know, look at what you're doing and learn from that, but also students, people who are just about to enter the industry, to be able to follow a series like that and, you know, pick up little tidbits here and there. It just kind of gives them a glimpse of what they're about to enter into.
Yeah, good or bad.
Buckle up.
Yeah.
Well, you had a question too?
Yeah. What was my question? What are standout qualities in the builders that you work with?
Ooh, wow.
And I should say, to work
question.
with.
Yeah.
Thanks. Talk about us first.
Talk about us. Transparency is a big one for me. And that goes across like a lot of different arenas. So I think like the production schedule and expectations on site in terms of like, you know, telling us to order things when really they're 3 or 4 months from being ready for us. So just transparency in terms of like where they're at in the build, transparency with the types of clients that we're going to be interacting with, a heads up if somebody's extremely difficult to communicate with or has a particular style of communication, knowing some of that stuff in advance. Transparency with payments. You know, people joke around all the time about, oh, the building industry and you can't get paid. Like, that's not false. But if somebody is upfront and says you'll get paid in 60 or 90 days, instead of saying you'll be paid in 30, then we can, you know, account for that on our end. So I think like having that kind of open communication and transparency is one. 2 is just generally being an integrity-filled person, and or organization. And I think it's tough because the bigger the company gets, it's sometimes hard to, you know, infuse culture across all of those different people. So, you know, when we work with builders that build 300 or 500 homes a year and they have a staff of 125, it's a lot, you know, more difficult to make sure all 125 of those people are adhering to the core values of the company. But companies that try to do that, or that have core values that they try to instill in their people, so there's consistency in terms of like the way they communicate and their expectations, I think that that's a really big one. And then I think actually like the number one thing for me, fortunately or unfortunately, is the vibe and the energy. And so that's a big part of the reason why I like working with you guys, and your clients. Like, I've yet to find, you know, we have a great relationship and our companies have a friendship, but even the clients, like I have friends that I now have because they were clients of yours, and it's just the vibe that they came into the process with. So that would probably be my answer.
I love that.
I know. I want to like repeat something that you said earlier, because obviously as we were chatting and getting ready for this, you know, Sydney was saying one reason why, you know, we love working with you is because you reflect us so well, and our values are very much tied. And, you know, there's not one client that we wouldn't send to you. We know that you're going to welcome them in, you're going to educate them, give them exactly what they need. And there's just no hesitation on their experience when they come to Sonata.
Yeah, no, I think that is huge for me. I know, like, when I send someone your way, I'm like, you're going to have a great time, first and foremost. And you're going to be taken care of. Like, there's not one worry in my mind when it comes to that. And I think that's another thing we really value in the people that we choose to work with, right? It's like, we have to trust them to be like, take our clients and do your thing. You're the professional in that area. So that's huge for us too. We're busy. We're all busy, you know, so we got to make sure that people that are interacting with our clients are top notch, and you are. So,
and I think having that like trust on both sides of the fence ultimately leads to really good results in the end.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's huge.
Any other questions?
Where do you think you're going to go with like your marketing? I feel like a couple of years ago, I was like, Tyrell needs to be like on the gram, like give us more Tyrell. Like, you're so personable, and like every time we hang out, I'm like, oh my god, I love talking to you, and I feel like you got to be on there more. Like, you do some, but like, do you have bigger like hopes and dreams for what you want to do on that side of things with like marketing? Obviously, you're doing a lot of this already.
I think, like as we've gone down this path, it's really funny because we were just talking about like the value that the concert series brings or like social media brings. And the marketing team's like in the room right now, so I have to be careful about what I say.
Sorry, guys.
But no, like, Chris and the team knows that I struggled for many years to find value in spending time, energy, and money on marketing, because the company grew so much the last 7-8 years just by virtue of relationships. Referrals from other builders, referrals from other interior designers. Hey, you work with so-and-so, can I work with you? And that's just has been so organic. And some of the relationships we have, go back 40 years to, dad's era. And so until the last couple of years, I had really hadn't thought a lot about marketing. But I have been thinking a lot about it now, and you're pretty much bang on. So, the marketing team has been saying the same thing. I need to be on camera myself, more boots on the ground, meeting the people in the industry, on site with clients. And so I think we'll be doing a lot more of that. And I've told you guys about this, but we are moving towards getting the consultancy piece of the business kind of launched, where we're helping other people in the design and construction and trades community with digital media, digital transformation, marketing, business development, that kind of stuff. And so I'll be doing a lot more kind of like tutorial or like just kind of business ops type things, where here's how I think you should approach this, or here's a tool or a technology that helps us do that. Yeah, so we're doing a lot more of that kind of stuff.
That's awesome. And that's huge. Like, people, like, what they find value in marketing is like when you can provide them information. So it's like if they can go to your page or whatever and like learn from you, that's huge. I think it's a big piece of marketing that people miss a lot of the time. It's, you can showcase your work and what you do, and that's great and pretty and beautiful. But at the end of the day, why are people wanting to follow you or to follow your journey or your company? It's like if they can learn from you or whatever it is, that's really what like keeps them there. So.
And I think like even on that whole vein of just like value, when we put all of these videos, like the PK stuff on YouTube, I was like, man, this is like a lot of stuff that like technically a competitor could use, or that sets us apart from other people in terms of like our showroom experience or my, tacit knowledge of this product or this industry. And I think that like over the last 6 months, that's been completely wiped away as a worry for me, because I've had multiple clients. In fact, a new designer emailed me yesterday wanting to come in and meet me, just because she's like, this stuff is so awesome, and I've used your video on drapery like 3 times now, and now I just want to meet you. And so, I think that there's a lot of value. And I think you guys actually, that's something you guys have excelled at for a really long time, is all things like digital media, the digital presentation piece with renderings, your drawing, the quality of your drawings. And then your guys' social media is like banging. So what are you guys doing?
It's fun. I mean, marketing is huge for us here. It's what's always at the forefront of our mind, because it's huge. It's like people think like, oh, I can't put that much budget into marketing. Like that's insane. But it's like, if you get one sale out of that, like especially with us with home building, like it's all worth it. That doesn't matter. So the budget is like let's skyrocket it. It's like if we get 2 people out of this, that's all worth it at the end of the day. So I think it's so important. And again, it goes hand in hand with your sales, right? If you don't have good marketing, like your sales might slow. Yeah, there's word of mouth and there's referrals, and if we get those too, right? But it's huge, and I think it's important to be highlighting like all different areas. Like with us, again, of course we show off our homes, but as you said, giving like tidbits into like how you do this, or, come learn from us, or come watch our process, or come see. And it's part of that scary, because you don't want to give away your processes. You don't want to show everybody all your little secrets and stuff. But at the end of the day, people see so much value in that. And so I think that is just so important. We'll obviously continue, like our biggest presence is Instagram, but it's interesting. We're starting to like try to tap more into LinkedIn and Facebook, and even doing different content for those platforms, because, the people that are building these $1 million homes, they're not hanging out on Instagram most of the time. They're the people on Facebook, or they're the people, on LinkedIn hanging out, right? So it's like you really have to think of your audience and who you're trying to speak to. Instagram's amazing, and that's where we have our biggest following, but they're actually, most of the people on there are just big fans of us, and they love the work that we do, and they're always reaching out like, one day, like, I really hope to come build with you guys. We're like, yes, we're manifesting that for you. But they're kind of like the younger crowd on Instagram, right? And so you really have to understand your audience and play to that. And so we're kind of exploring all different platforms with that right now. And yeah, it's fun.
Keep it up.
It's so fun.
We're going to have a camera crew follow Kaitlin around to all the suppliers.
Yeah, she loves the camera.
I really love the camera.
Yeah, no.
We can work something out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one question for you.
Yeah, please.
Sales, I feel like it's such an intimidating industry, and it's so specific that there's few people in Calgary that do what you do, but so the competition is high because there's only so many people you can go to.
Right.
So that being said, like, what keeps you doing what you're doing? Like, why do you stay in this industry, and what do you love about it? Or maybe what do you not love about it?
Oh, man.
Like, woo, let me go on my list.
I think, I stay in the industry, or I'm in the industry because I've been doing it a really long time. And so I just know a lot of stuff, and I can help people achieve a specific vision, a goal, a budget, whatever it is. And that's a unique skill just because of how long I've been doing this and how much I know. And so I just kind of want to help people achieve that. In terms of, what I don't love about it, it's actually that it is a generally low barrier to entry in most trades, but especially in this one, right? Because you don't actually need technical training like you do with a carpenter, electrician, a plumber. You can just go sign up a bunch of accounts, call yourself a decorator, design specialist, and this, window fashions or wall covering, and away you go. And sometimes we're compared to that. So when somebody doesn't have a showroom, or doesn't have that level of experience, and they're promising something to a customer that may or may not be possible, that drives me crazy. So, there isn't really a way to overcome that, but I think that honesty and integrity and doing a good job will always shine through in the end. And so that's kind of why we continue to do it, because like you said, there's not a lot of people at this level in the city. And I think that with some of the things that we've done and, are continuing to do, especially in the digital space, with some of the stuff we have coming down the pipeline later this year with AI, the video library we've created, our new trade portal's going live. I got the first draft actually an hour before I got here, where all the technical documentations and wiring guides and drapery and control systems is all just PDFs that will live in the portal that you guys can just log in instead of emailing me all the time. Where's that document again, Tyrell?
I'll still email you.
Yeah, I know. But no, we're doing some really cool stuff in that sphere. And I think to sum that up, I guess, we continue to do it because we're great at it, and because the industry needs some innovation, some fresh blood. And if somebody doesn't do it as all these people retire or slow down, then nobody will be doing it. So someone's got to do it.
Yeah, 100%. You're the best at it, so
thank
better
you.
Be you.
So yeah, tell us about a recent project.
Okay.
That is one of your guys' favorite, or that's just mind blasting. It's beautiful. It's amazing.
There's two that come to the forefront of my mind. One being the Sophia, for sure.
Oh
which
my God, that
Kaitlin designed.
Thinking about that.
But how amazing was it? How amazing was it? So the Sophia was our. Oh my!
You did so great.
We had the.
God, literally physical anxiety.
I knew you could do it.
You did it. You nailed it. It looked amazing.
It turned out incredible. You guys crushed that. That was a really cool house. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh my gosh! No, you're good. So that was our last show home that opened in November of 2023. Holy smokes, time flies. And Kaitlin designed the whole thing. It's absolutely amazing.
Very cool.
It was a split level build, over 4,500 square feet. And I'll let her talk about some of the design details of it. But the cool part about this home is that we actually sold it within 2 months. At $5.2 million, which was $200,000 over asking. And my favorite part about this is that we sold it with as is, with everything in it. So we picked every piece of furniture, every piece of decor, down to the freaking cutlery in the drawer.
Really? I didn't realize it sold with with everything.
Yeah. And we had some really cool clients that moved down from Kelowna come and buy it literally as is. They're like, we want everything in this home. And I think that just like speaks
like give her a clean
volumes.
And give me the keys.
No, literally. Yeah. So that was really, really cool. But I'll have Katilin speak to the design because she did it.
Yeah. I mean, that was such a special home. I think back to when we started in architecture and just the conversations that were happening around that. Michael, obviously, he's super involved in every single show home. His whole premise behind that is he wanted it to feel like modern, European, still very cozy, but he wanted it to feel different. And so, you know, you talk about the layout, it being a split level, you know, the primary was up a set of stairs and you had this whole wing, and then you carry yourself upstairs and it's kind of all the secondary bedrooms and a media room. Like, it was just such a unique layout that I think people really appreciated because it was so different.
Yeah, super different.
And then when it came to design, I mean, we just got to play off of that. There were so many good architectural moments in that home that, you know, we could just build off of that. So there were lots of layers, lots of, you know, natural materials. We did a ton of wood. We did marbles, quartzites. You know, that home, it just really like oozed this like cozy comfort. And I don't know if we'll ever be able to recreate it.
It was so good.
I know, it was so good.
We will. But there were so many cool different moments in there. And like, as I said before, we love doing our show homes because it's just like our team just gets to play and have fun.
Yeah.
So you can see all the images online under the Sophia, but there was a sunken living room, and Mike and Kaitlin wanted to do this, what we were calling a drunken tile lay. So we had this really cool, like chunky terracotta tile that we like laid it like purposely all like effed up, you know? And it was like, people were stepping on it being like, ooh, this was a bad install. We're like, no, we wanted it this way. And we heated the whole living room. We like overlaid it with rugs. And honestly, it ended up being like so many people's favorite part of the home. And it's stuff like that where it's like we throw out these like crazy ideas where we're like, people might hate this, but like, let's do it anyways. And there was a few little moments in that home where we were able to experiment and do some cool stuff. So
I remember the brief when we went through that, and just like how much emotion Kaitlin had attached to that thing.
It's
like,
her baby.
It was my baby.
She's like, I have all these ideas. Tell me if they're crazy.
Yeah.
And
like,
it was one of the first times, especially with a show home, because I've had this experience with client projects, but for a show home or a spec, where she was like, price is not a thing. Show me the best fabrics that are unique that nobody else has done ever in a show home or maybe even in their own home. And I was like, okay.
Like,
and I think of the like 10 that I pulled out, we used like 7 of them.
We did.
So it turned out really awesome. From our perspective, I was pumped to be a part of it. And I think you guys nailed that. Okay, that's a good example.
Yeah, that was a really cool one. The other one I'm just thinking of is actually a client build that just took possession a couple weeks ago, our varsity build. So the content on social media is like just starting to hit right now. This house is like absolutely insane. And when you look at the design compared to the Sophia, totally different. Like this one is like modern. Sophia is, more like European, cozy, warm. But this house is wild. It's, over in Varsity, the lot that it's on is absolutely stunning, just like surrounded by parks. And the clients, like, so fun. Like, we love when our clients bring us like the crazy creative ideas. They're like, let's do this. We're like, hell yeah, let's go. We have this curved staircase right when you come in the front door that it's like this double height ceiling, all done in plaster. And it just feels like
cool.
So cool. You walk into the kitchen.
Oh, I saw something on Instagram today.
Oof,
yeah.
Chef's kiss. This thing is absolutely insane. And
the biggest island.
Yeah, an 18-foot long island in the kitchen that has like a tesoro door that opens right across from it.
Very
just
cool.
A lot of very, very cool
But the photos
moments.
aren't online yet.
They are.
Oh, they are?
They just got online.
Well, we need links for both those so we can chop them in.
Yeah, there's a speakeasy on the top floor that can be accessed from like the main rec area, excuse me, and then also from the primary bedroom with like hidden doors on both sides.
Cool.
So it's like in the middle of the upper floor. It was just a really, really fun project and a lot of like challenges in that one where we were like, okay, how are we going to do this? But then again, our team like comes together on site, we figure it out, and it ends up just being like the most awesome project ever. So yeah, that one is super, super cool.
So you guys have obviously had a lot of success. It's amazing. Can you talk about a time in your career or with Trickle Creek where you experienced some failure or something not going well, the lessons you kind of took from that, and how you move forward?
Well, damn. Okay, hit us with the hard one. I think this is We can be a little vulnerable. I think, one downfall of being a younger team, I think there's a lot of perks to it, as we've already talked about, but one downfall is that you will experience more turnover than you would typically see with an older staff. And so especially in this day and age, Gen Z, it's like the grass is always greener, so they think. And so there was a period of time where we experienced a lot of our team members kind of hopping around or going, this is just like a first shop for them, and then they want to go on to the next thing, which we always encourage that too. It's like, hey, go do what you're going to do. This wasn't my first job either. But there was a period of time where we experienced a lot of that, and that gets challenging in this industry because, again, you're with clients for like 2 years here. So they really rely on the team that they have. And if one person leaves, it's, we manage it, somebody else picks it up, but they get kind of attached to the people and they're building their home. And so it's not just an internal battle, it's also managing that with the clients and kind of the people that they've created those connections with. But we have such a great core group, and there's probably like 10 or 15 of us that have been here for a hot minute. And so our clients, always know us. We've always kind of remained stable here. But yeah, that's definitely something that is challenging with the younger crew for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to add to that, I think coming into the industry, when you're within your first, let's just say 5 years, you are green and you are going to make mistakes. That's just inevitable. And so, there's always lessons to learn from that. I'm the first person who hates making a mistake. I feel like I've missed something or I've overlooked something. I really take that to heart, and I know a lot of our teammates do as well. But really, truly, those are just lessons learned. And so what can you take from that? How do you pivot? How do you get creative to problem solve, to correct, to make sure, it is perfection on that last day? And then you just know better for next time. So, mistakes are not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, for sure. We see that challenge too, because we do bring on young people fresh out of school, which we love. Like, I think that's awesome that we get to do that, but there's a lot of training that goes into that. There is a lot of people that, do make mistakes, and we correct or we pay for that on the back end. And, we're always understanding of that, but that can be challenging too. We're not hiring the designers with 15 years of experience, right? We want to train and grow the designers that are fresh out of school, and we want to train them the Trickle way and train them our way. And so we take that challenge on, but that's difficult at times for sure.
Yeah. And so the customer was out of town once the snow flew in like November in the middle of a reno, and we'd done work for them on like 2 previous homes, and we were in this project, and they're like, hey, Ty, we want to like order shades for the new edition. And I'm like, yeah, I'll come over this day. These are the gaps in the calendar. Nope, none of those work. We're in like, wherever, Miami, Phoenix, wherever they were. Go to the house with the samples and match them against the shades we ordered like when we rented this other part of the house. So I went there, did my thing, got it down to like 2 selections, and then sent pictures. And I was like, this is the one that I think you guys should go with, right?
Yeah.
Then it was back ordered. So it came like 2 months late, got installed, and they're like, ugh, we hate it.
No.
It's whether I can't even remember now. I'm like blanking it out because it's just like, it is what it is. Whether it was like too gray or too taupe or whatever. And so it was like a lesson for me. And now it will be like a policy inside the company. Like, we'll never do a material selection, a texture, a color, whatever, without the customer physically being present. Mm-hmm. If it's like a color match from one to another, maybe, but like the initial selection, no way. Yeah. So have you ever experienced something like that where you've made a call on a B, or a C for a client that was like indecisive, had it installed, and then they hated it?
That's a great question.
That is.
It's so tough because I feel like that's such a specific example. I think a lot of our clients come to us and they're like, well, what do you think? Like, what's the best? Right. And then we'll tell them what we think, and then they go with it, which is great. I don't know that I've ever run into that scenario where I've picked something and someone's hated it.
Yeah, I think I've run into, before I was in this position, I used to be an interior designer as well. And I think I'd ran into not so much where a client hated it, but I hated it. And it was like, oh shit, did I pick that? I was like, oh my God.
And then you're like, this looks great.
Yeah. And then I panic, but it's like, they're always cool with it. So then I'm like you're like sweating on that walkthrough. You're like, are they going to say something? Like, oh my God. But I think every designer has probably experienced that where like, you know, the tone isn't right, or like you just had this vision in your mind and then you see it on site and you like freak out thinking that your clients might notice. But I think with our clients, they just have so much trust in us that maybe even if they were like, I don't like it, we'd be like, it's great. And they'd be like, you're right. You know, like they really do trust us, and then we would never do that. But yeah, I can't even think of a specific example where that's happened.
I mean, there's nothing else like that install panic when you like walk through and your like heart drops into your stomach. You're like, wait a second.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know. I've had like cases where I've made a proposal and the clients look at it and they're like, well, we would rather have this. And so then we talk through options, and my go-to is always, well, why do you like this? Or like, walk me through that. Like I always want to hear their reasoning for it. And then it just gives me you know, time to kind of back up why I would pick what I'm going to pick. And so ultimately you're like re-explaining the original selection. And a lot of times clients kind of come back to it and they're like, oh yeah, no, you're right. Mm-hmm. But I always want to give them the opportunity to like talk through why they like what they like. Mm-hmm. And then we can always just kind of work our way towards the finish line together. But yeah, that sounds like a scary.
Yeah, never again.
Yeah, that sounds really scary.
Scared for you.
Yeah.
What else you got?
So Sydney, you mentioned like, so we obviously won't badmouth other builders, but you mentioned you were walking through a new build and you saw some things that like wouldn't fly. So
yeah.
What maybe were some of those things?
Oh my goodness. This is great. I don't even know who the builder was. But yeah, just the attention to detail, like not there at all. Like baseboards have been sprayed with paint and the paint was all over the tile, like everywhere. I opened a cabinet door and like the paint chipped off immediately. I was like, oh, like there's just so many things. Like in the basement, there was no leveling done on concrete and there was just like LVP slapped on it. You can just feel as you're walking around, like so many little things that a lot of people might not actually notice, but just it was more in like the finishing details. A lot of the tile work, holy smokes, the tile work, it was bad out there, but they're just slapping things on, like uneven grout lines, little stuff like that where, you know, you might walk into that home as a first-time home buyer and the overall thing looks pretty nice, you know, and on pictures online, you're like, oh, wow, this is beautiful. It looks amazing. And that's why I went to see it, right? You can't tell in a picture, but as you're walking through, it was just so clear that the attention to detail was not there. Big in the mech rooms too. Oh my God. If you guys have ever seen one of our, like Ryan, one of our PMs, he's done some mech room tours. We got the top-notch mech rooms, but these things like mud all over the walls, just like so unorganized. I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So yeah, it's just really the attention to detail on a lot of specific areas. Yeah.
I feel like it's easy to cut corners too on things that you can't see. Mm-hmm. So like hearing you talk about the leveling on the floor, like the average person walking across that floor probably won't feel it until they move in and they're playing with their kids down there. But obviously you picked up on that right away. Your spidey senses.
Yeah, it's tingling. Yeah, totally.
So if you guys could build and design a home, right? So if Trickle could build and design a home for a fictional character.
Yes.
Who would it be and what would you design?
Oh my gosh. My mind goes everywhere.
Guys,
how do you pick?
I don't know.
Well, okay, the first thing that popped to mind, and we're actually building this right now, so it's our next home. It's the Charlotte, and we have a speakeasy on the main floor, and I instantly think of, what's his name? John Hamm.
Oh, from Mad Men.
From Mad Men. Like, that's the vibe in the speakeasy. It's cool. It's moody. You want to, like, grab a drink and just sit on this, like, cozy, plush velvet couch.
So you would do John Hamm's speakeasy-inspired mid-century mansion.
We're doing it, so yeah. We're doing it. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I love that question, though. What would you do?
I cannot think of anything. I don't know why my mind immediately went to Gossip Girl. I was like, New York City, what are we building? That's where I went. Okay, so we're going to say a Blair Waldorf. Actually, no, Serena van der Woodsen. we don't do penthouses, but we're in this scenario we are a New York like penthouse, really like vibey, dark, moody. Like remember that speakeasy when we went to in New York?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like inspired.
Yeah.
Inspired
Barely.
by that for like for a New Yorker. That's the dream.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Awesome.
XOXO Gossip Girl.
That's a great answer.
Thank
you so much for your time. I know you're both very super busy ladies, so appreciate it a lot. We look forward to working with you on lots of cool projects in the future, and we appreciate everything we've got to collaborate with on to date.
Yes, likewise. No, this was really fun.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.